The Great Migration, nature's epic journey. The journey for the key players in the Great Migration, the roughly 1.5 million wildebeest, starts in the south of the Serengeti, with the birth of 500,000 calves between January and March. A favorite season for many of the seasoned Serengeti guides, the air during these months is full of new life and action. In the heart of Africa, there exists a natural phenomenon so grand, it captures the essence of the wild in all its glory. This is the Serengeti National Park, where every year, a spectacular event unfolds, the Great Migration. What is the Great Migration in Serengeti? The Great Migration literally translates to the Great Migration, and that is what it really boils down to. During this special spectacle, around 1.5 million animals, driven by their drive to survive, travel through Serengeti in search of fresh grasslands. Survival of the fittest. The Great Migration is nothing more than survival of the fittest. Due to the drought after the rainy season, the animals do not have enough to eat. This means they have to look for food and drink. Their primal instinct takes them to the right places. An age-old survival strategy. The journey begins with the arrival of the rains, a herald of plenty in this ancient land. The animals, sensing the changing seasons, gather in vast herds, ready to embark on one of the most awe-inspiring migrations on Earth. It is the wildebeest that start the whole process. Apparently more than 1 million wildebeest participate. Although other animals also participate, it is mainly these herd animals that make it so impressive. Every year they pass through Serengeti, with a high risk of death, to survive. Led by an innate sense of survival, over 2 million wildebeests, zebras, and gazelles set forth on a relentless march, covering thousands of miles across the Serengeti and its neighboring Masai Mara in Kenya. This incredible odyssey is driven by the search for fresh grass and water, the lifeblood of the savannah. The Great Migration is not just a physical journey, it's a testament to the endurance, resilience, and unity of these animals. They navigate treacherous rivers, confront predators, and endure harsh conditions, all in their quest for sustenance. To survive, 1.5 million wildebeest migrate, but many die as a result. Cheetahs, hyenas, leopards, and lions know what is happening and hunt the weakest in the group. Not to mention drowning, trampling, and the crocodiles that live in the Gramiti and Mara rivers. When is the Great Migration? That question cannot be answered simply. The Great Migration is something that takes place all year round as the animals migrate through Serengeti. In addition, they remain wild animals and rain or drought can never be predicted. It is not the case that 1.5 million wildebeest are thinking at 1 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon, time for the Great Migration, let's go. Whims of wildlife. Where and when the Great Migration takes place varies from month to month. Due to climate change, the rainy season may be earlier, later, longer, or shorter. Animals notice this and adapt accordingly. All predators benefit from the chaos that occurs during and after the crossing. The Great Migration takes place in the Serengeti in Tanzania, but also partly in southern Kenya. Although 1.5 million animals are unmissable, wildlife is unpredictable. In total, they travel no less than 3,000 kilometers in search of food and drink. In addition, the Great Migration is an annual phenomenon. It happens all year round. That means it also depends on when you are somewhere. Tip: the Great Migration is all year round, but the river crossing takes place around June/July to October. The build-up to a Mara River crossing is tense and unpredictable. Thousands of wildebeest aggregate at a favored crossing point, teasing themselves, and a few human spectators, 4 hours, even days. Occasionally they peer over the edge of the riverbank, dithery and indecisive, before withdrawing back into the bush. In addition, some groups of wildebeest immediately cross the river, other groups wait at the river for days until they dare to cross, and some groups think, "Didn't see me," and turn back. Not all animals cross the river immediately when they arrive here. Some wait for days in front of the rivers, others rush straight through the water and some even turn around. That is also the reason that crossing the river does not happen in one day, but around the months of May/June to October. The Mara River, a formidable barrier, becomes a battleground. Crocodiles lurk beneath the surface, while lions and hyenas await on the other side. Yet, driven by an ancient instinct, they plunge forward, creating a spectacle that leaves spectators in awe. Misjudged high-water crossings sweep away and drown several thousand wildebeest every year. Outsized crocodiles would gape mouth through the crossing herd, ready to snatch down any individual that makes a false move. And, on the opposite bank, lions lurk and wait. They eye their prey, ready to slaughter as for the human spectator, it's a breathtaking and utterly unforgettable experience. It is visually three-dimensional, orally magnificent, infused with an infectious aura of chaos and confusion, and tangibly charged with adrenaline. The Great Migration is not just a marvel for the eyes, it's a vital force in the ecosystem. It provides nourishment for predators, shapes the landscape, and fosters a delicate balance between species. It's a cycle of life that has continued for millennia, a dance of nature that plays out year after year. The migration is not without risk. Crossing rivers means facing about 3,000 crocodiles, patiently waiting for a kill. Not to mention the famous Serengeti lion population, by far the largest in Africa. Despite the abundance of hoofed meat in this area, life is not easy for these big cats in this unforgiving landscape. But seeing a group of lions collaborating to hunt down a wildebeest is an unforgettable sight. August. Time to assess the damage. Not only are there many survivors, thankfully, but also a lot of dead animals. The animals that survived continue to the north of Serengeti and to the Masai Mara National Reserve in Kenya. When to visit? It is a matter of choice whether you would like to plan your Serengeti safari around the Great Migration. We have mentioned earlier that the Serengeti is a year-round destination as it covers a vast area and offers unparalleled wildlife viewing. Chances that you will be at the exact spot of the Great Migration herd crossing a river, either at the Serengeti or Mara River, are very slim. Also, the timing of herd movements cannot be guaranteed. However, if you choose the right part of the Serengeti, the southeast and Duda from December through to May, the western corridor from May to July, the Serengeti Mara area from July trough to October, and the northern Serengeti and Lobo area in October and November, large herds of wildebeest and their entourage should be easily located. As the sun sets on another day in the Serengeti, the echoes of the Great Migration linger in the air. Some calves have lost their mothers, but life goes on as usual. It's a reminder of the enduring spirit of these creatures, their unwavering determination, and the magnificent tapestry of life that unfolds in this untamed wilderness.